Someone left me a comment today about not being a productive member of society, that everybody else has jobs and they work 9 to 5 and they're doing things and therefore they don't have time to just sit around being crybabies and thinking depressing thoughts. Because clearly that's what I'm doing. I'm just sitting around doing nothing, thinking about bad stuff and navel gazing. First of all, that's not true because I'm working my butt off from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. I'm doing all kinds of research and making videos and exercising and answering emails and editing things, and it's just nonstop. It's more than a full-time job for me. I rarely take a moment to relax. So I don't have plenty of time on my hands to think about depressing thoughts. But more to the point, I want to talk about this idea of being a productive member of society. What does that mean? First of all, which society? The one that is careening off the cliff? The one that is becoming more and more obese? The one that is becoming more and more unhealthy? Even though we have better drugs and better surgeries and better trained doctors, better vaccines, we're getting more and more sick? The society that is creating this wider and wider gap between the richer and the poor? The society that's becoming more and more violent, more and more narcissistic, more and more self-absorbed, more and more consumer-oriented, where they just want to consume and buy things, but they're never happy? What does it mean to be a productive member of that society, a society that's hell-bent on destroying the planet? A society that's not interested in your personal happiness. It's not interested in my personal happiness. It's interested in this thing called the economy, which is what you hear people talk about. Politicians are always talking about, well, it's good for the economy. George Bush after 9/11, what do? Shop. It's good for the economy. Well, what is the economy? Is that a person? Is that a group of people? Or is it just this thing? Is it a numbers game that we're just playing? I'm not the economy. I can't point to a bunch of people on the street and say that they're the economy. What about my happiness? What about yours? What about anybody's happiness? Are we just cogs in the wheel of this vehicle that's moving off the cliff? And if we all just focus on being productive members of society and we do our job and we make our product and we show up and we punch the clock, and then the world falls apart and global climate change kills all of us, or we drop a bomb on somebody, but hey, I punched the clock, I did my job, I was a productive member of society, I made sure that I produced 300 widgets an hour, I'm productive. But what's the end result? That's what I want to know. Are you making a difference? Are you keeping us off that cliff? Are you working on a braking system that slows us down before we get to the edge of the cliff? Like, what are you doing? Some people are. So there are definitely people that have jobs that are moving us away from that edge, but they're the minority. Most people are just going through the motions. Most people just have a job to get a paycheck, to pay for the house that they're not happy in, to pay for the belongings that don't fulfill them or give them happiness, to drive the car that they really can't afford, but it looks good, so their friends think, well, hey, he's doing well. Like, most of the things that we buy are just to keep up appearances. Do we really need any of them? Like, I was a kid in the late 60s, early 70s. And we had a lot less than we have now. And I was happy. But now that we live in this world of ever-increasing abundance, where you have instant connection to anybody on the planet with your iPhone, or instant access to all of the information ever assembled at your fingertips, what do you want to know? I can just Google it. There it is. Got the answer. And yet people are less and less happy, more and more disillusioned, more confused. And they feel like they're not connected anymore. They feel like they're not a part of anything. But they go to work, they punch the clock, they're productive members of society. That's not who I am, and that's not who I want to be, and it's not what I'm up to. I want to make a difference. I want to touch individual people. I want to reach out. I want to connect with them. I want to take risks. I want to be vulnerable. And I want to really honestly express myself so that someone else can see that maybe they've got that same thing in them. And because I stood up and expressed it, maybe they'll feel it too, and maybe they'll honor that. Maybe they'll embrace that part of themselves instead of hiding it, shaming it. Maybe they'll actually do something that makes them happy for a change instead of just punching the clock again. And if more and more people did that, if more and more people focused on happiness, if more and more people focused on the real challenges going on inside of them instead of pretending like everything is okay, maybe this world wouldn't be careening off the cliff. If more people really checked in instead of burying their feelings and really communicated with each other, maybe the world would be a better place. Maybe. I don't know. But that's what I'm up to. And I'm willing to sacrifice financial independence at the moment in order to do that. And I'm willing to sacrifice a lot of belongings. I don't need great cars, and I don't need big houses, and I don't need lots of fancy toys and nice clothes. I don't need that. It doesn't make me happy. What really, truly makes me happy is connecting with people, reaching out to people, and seeing that something I have done has made a difference in their life. That's what makes me happy. So that's what I do. And do I make a lot of money doing that? No. So what? Does that increase the level of stress in my life? Yeah, it does. But am I actually producing something in this world? Yeah, I am. I'm producing change. And that's the only thing that matters to me.